85.000 Menschen waren nur ein Tropfen auf den heißen Stein im Vergleich zu den Millionen, die Frank Gaffney und seine Truppen täglich über CNN und Fox erreichten. Aber ich war überrascht. Helen hatte etwas ins Rollen gebracht.
I was going to have lunch and the phone went, my mobile, and it was a woman who has been skirting around giving money, and then she rang and said, I'm going to give you $57,000 of my own money in stock. I'm not going to wait for my family foundation to come through. I'm doing it. She said, I saw you on C-SPAN this morning and you were brilliant. She said, I was just going to give it to Greenpeace, but I'm giving it to you. Thanks, God. It was great. I've raised about $450,000 thus far this year. I'm in a position now to open an office, to hire an executive director and a communications director. I think it's really easily doable. I just need to get the players in place.
Helens treue Helfer Joe Kean und ihre Agentin Mary Canane flogen nach Washington, um ihr bei den Vorstellungsgesprächen zu helfen.
We've got to find absolutely the right person because they're just taking on the military-industrial complex, the right-wing think tanks, the administration and the media, which is so biased at the moment. We'll do it.
In die engere Wahl kamen ein Völkerrechtler, einige Politiker und ein ehemaliger CIA-Agent. Doch der Richtige war noch nicht darunter. Dann, am letzten Tag, stießen sie auf Gold. Charles Sheehan Miles ist ein Golfkriegsveteran, der die Armee verließ, um gegen das Pentagon zu kämpfen, als er herausfand, dass Amerikas Uranwaffen Krebs verursachen können. Helen hatte ihren Mitstreiter gefunden.
The first thing I was thinking in terms of was, on the one hand, we're doing the educational work, but on the other hand, almost branding it as a separate piece that we coordinate.
Which is what the right wing do, incidentally.
Right.
They put aside a lot of their differences and focus on the main issues at hand. Yeah. So how
the really successful strategies have been not necessarily aimed at Congress, but aimed at the public, aimed at making people realize, you know, what's really happening out there. And the fact is, right now, the really conservative institutions out there, they're winning that battle. If you look at the average news program, they'll have a fair and balanced debate between someone on the right and someone further to the right. And we need to change that.
The U.S. ordered a second strike with a manned aircraft. Using a bunker buster bomb, they destroyed an
They're bombing the hell out of Iraq already.
Deeply buried under a building.
Während die Kriegsbefürworter eine Woche vor der Invasion Saddams Verteidigung zermürbten, hatten Mary und Joe eine himmlische Eingebung. Es war an der Zeit, sich an Gott zu wenden.
The Holy Fat.
Christ, what's that? No, oh, the Holy Father. Oh. We just need an email for the guy. If you wanted to email the Pope, how would you do that? We want to send a series of emails to the Pope saying he's the only person who can stop the war in Iraq by going to Baghdad. They'd kill Nelson Mandela and they'd probably kill the Dalai Lama. And they'll kill all the human shields, but they wouldn't kill the Pope.
President Bush met for nearly an hour today with an envoy from the Vatican who communicated the Pope's message that war would produce immeasurable suffering.
Looks like Alfred E. Newman.
The president responded by saying that removing Saddam Hussein will make the world a more peaceful place. Meanwhile, in Gotham...
Your Holiness, I write to you today out of great urgency. As you know, the United States of America is on the verge of launching what may be one of the most cataclysmic wars in history, using weapons of mass destruction upon the Iraqi people.
I implore you to travel to Baghdad and to remain there until a peaceful solution to this crisis has been implemented.
The lives of the people of Iraq rest in your hands, as does the fate of the world, with hope. Here we go. Off it goes to the Pope, and he can save the world. They are going to go in and drop 3,000 guided missiles on Baghdad in the first 2 days. And I look at these pictures of people and children laughing and giggling and playing. How dare America do that? How dare they? Who the hell do they think they are? They'll never get Hussein. They're going to kill women and children. I mean, this is genocide. Why would this woman be less important than an American woman? Look at these children. A child is a child is a child. Life is sacred. These men are clinically sick who want to do this.
My son is there.
I think most American males feel like you do.
I'm not crazy.
No, you're not crazy. You're totally sane.
You are sane.
Clinically sane. Your reaction is totally the right reaction. Your reaction is a reaction of normality. We all should be weeping. Dear Dr. Caldecott, Jerry Brown, who was the Governor of California and now is the Mayor of Oakland, forwarded me your email re the Pope, and I was thrilled. I immediately emailed and wrote a letter, then called the Vatican with surprising results. The operator yelled, "You're the ones who elected Bush. It's not our responsibility." She insisted she was the voice of the Pope, then slammed down the phone.
We had responses from all over. Japan,
Yeah.
England, New Zealand. Everybody's mailing it on to everybody else in these huge lists. Accredit Dementi is shut down.
Die E-Mail vervielfältigte sich rund um die Erde mit einer solchen Kraft, dass sie die Website des Vatikans sprengte. Ich war so begeistert, dass ich helfen wollte. Und so kämpfte ich mich ins Weiße Haus.
The president has talked generally about protesters, of course. You know, the large protests that took place in Europe or in other places. The president, of course, has noticed and seen those.
Yes,
He respects
Ari Fleischner.
those who protest and who exercise their democratic rights, but he will still act as he sees fit to protect our country.
Is the president aware of the global email movement currently happening to send the Pope to Baghdad, and how might he respond?
Well, again, the president respects the opinions of those who differ with him on this. He has heard them. He listens to them.
Sleazy bastard.
If the Pope was to be in Baghdad as a human shield, how might that affect the president?
I think there's no basis in that whatsoever. Thank you.
Thank you, Buck Fleischer. Buck Fleischer.
Das war's also. Wir mussten zurück auf die Straße. Am Abend vor der Bombardierung Bagdads war es niederschmetternd zu wissen, dass die Waffen, vor denen Helen vor einem Jahr gewarnt hatte, bald eingesetzt werden würden.
When George II goes in, he's going to use the same radioactive weapons that will pollute the area for the rest of time. Depleted uranium weapons, which hit tanks, burst into flame, producing tiny particles, radioactive, inhaled into lungs. Women who are pregnant are terrified to give birth because the incidence of congenital anomalies has tripled. The half-life of uranium-238 is 4.5 billion years. That's what this war means.